Yeah, so I mean, I'm at the point where like I've done like one big major thing that I wanted to get done today, namely film something. I haven't in a long time, so that was like big. It was like big. It feels good. But yeah, I mean, now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I've done like one major thing. Now like what's next? What's next? I'm like thinking, oh yeah, like maybe it'd be nice to go to a bookstore. And then, of course, like I get myself worked up into like an absolute like overthinking situation where I'm like now like getting really annoyed with myself. First, I'm like, oh, well, like I'm not making any money right now. I can't really afford to buy a book. And like, what if I want to buy a book and then I can't afford to? And then I'm like, oh no, I feel so bad for myself. And then I'm also like, ooh, it's getting pretty late in the day. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. But I'm like, maybe it's too late to do anything else. Maybe I just need to like sit inside for the rest of the day and do probably nothing. Or like I'll end up like writing something, but I'm not connected to the world. So I'll feel really like uninspired by the writing process. And then I'm like, okay, like maybe I should just go into central London and like go to a bookstore and then maybe like work in a coffee shop for a few hours. And then I'm like, oh, but the coffee shops in central London, oh, they tend to get so busy. And like, what if I can't get a table? And I'm like getting so worked up about having like the absolute peak experience or something that I'm like talking myself out of doing anything at all. And like, that's like, do you see how this is frustrating? Because I'm just like, why am I like talking myself out of doing like just a very like basic thing? Because I'm getting all like worked up about, oh, well, will it be perfect? I don't know. I think I'm going to go outside though. Like, this is getting annoying. Like, it's getting really annoying that I'm just like constantly like in turmoil over everything. So I did go outside, and the longer I was outside, the more the turmoil started to lessen. I sat on the bus, took in the views, and would you believe it, I started to really enjoy myself. I enjoyed myself so much that I intentionally missed my intended stop and instead went down to the South Bank. It was great. It felt semi-tropical. I found a miraculously empty coffee shop in central London, of all places, and everything was really looking up for me, or so I thought. Is it Tuesday? I don't even, yes. Yeah. No, but like, I just think like today's shaping up to be like another one of those days where just like my mood is very, very off. To bring it back to like motivation theory, it's kind of like all of my efforts are very intrinsically motivated. Everything has to come from like within me to like make myself do something. Like I have to like summon all of this energy from somewhere within me, and it's like turning out that energy seems sometimes limited, and then there's like not a lot of like extrinsic motivation happening here. There aren't a lot of external factors like propelling me forward or compelling me forward. First of all, there's not a financial reward. I don't really get a lot of like validation for anything I'm doing. Like it's all internal. So like that's one part of the problem. Also, yeah, by nature of this like work, I guess, this pretend work that I do, it's also like isolating, just like in the way it functions. Like I'm mostly either in this room or I'm in that room through that wall, or I'm in a coffee shop, I guess. And then I think also the third side of this is I just spend a lot of time thinking about everything I just said. Why, now that I have this opportunity to pursue my dreams, am I not just like over the moon? Every day I get to like wake up and pursue this dream of being like a writer, creator, whatever. And so like I just do all this stuff though that is like supposed to be good. Like so I do a lot of like self-reflection. I take these long walks and I like really think through like, okay, like what am I dealing with right now and what can I do to improve situations? Like what's the problem? What's the solution? Blah blah blah. I've tried like journaling. I've like tried just like all these like efforts to like improve my self-awareness. And I think that I got to this point today though where I was really like, wait a minute, like what's the point of continually trying to like increase my own personal awareness of this situation when I'm pretty sure I understand every single dimension of the problem. I am pretty sure I have thought through every possible solution. The solution would be like I have a stroke of luck and something I make actually gets like a good, like solid, like sustainable degree of attention. And then that's like the push I need to like keep going and like to actually like get enough people's eyes on my work where it's like, something more can come of it, I guess. And then like also like I can't really do anything about like the economic dimension of it either. Like it just is what it is. Like I'm pretty broke right now. I need to figure out something for like money, but I'm not sure what that's going to be at this point. And it's like it's all creating a lot of stress. But that's all kind of like almost like I can take actions, but it's somewhat external to me. Like I can't like fix all of this like through my own thoughts and like through just if I just shift my thinking, if I just meditate a bit on this topic, like I'm going to figure it out. No, it's not like that. I don't need to be thinking anymore about what the problem is. I don't need to be thinking anymore about what the potential solutions could be. I think I just need to focus on just being like as active as possible and trying to like get as much out there as I can and to do as good a job as I can, but not like get too much in my head about like doing a good job with like video writing, whatever. Just do what I do and hope that something starts to take after a while. I just need to stop thinking so much. Like I just need to do some very like super tangible things to make at least some incremental changes to the way I feel maybe in myself. And then maybe that could actually help me like get my motivation back and feel a little better about what I'm doing. Because like I have to say like Yep, so I'm like planning to go outside. I'm like pretty close to it, hence the jacket. Like does going outside help me get out of ruminative loops, self-obsession? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'm going mainly just because like I guess it's a nice day as they would have me believe. And they, like, who is they? As they would have me believe. And I feel like I owe it to myself to like go and enjoy the weather. This is a really odd sentence coming from me. Like, I famously don't really like nice weather that much. So like, I don't know. It's the new me. It's the new me. So anyway, but yeah, like I guess like I just hope though that it does kind of take me a little bit outside of my like conventional sense of self, the way I normally am thinking about myself, because that is just becoming the theme of this week. Like this question of thinking about myself too much. And like, obviously, like I'm not the first to come up with this idea. I think it really comes from like the actress Jemima Kirk, who was in Girls, and she was asked by somebody, what advice do you have for unconfident young women? And she said, I think you're all thinking about yourselves too much. And like, I wouldn't say I'm unconfident. And I mean, am I a young woman? Like, oh, people could argue that forever. And then I read a Substack essay on the topic this week. And then I was like, I might think about this further. And then I really really did start thinking more and more about myself in terms of this question of thinking about myself too much. And then very fittingly, I started watching another one of my like 4-hour long Adam Curtis documentaries. I mentioned before I watched Hypernormalization by Adam Curtis a few weeks ago, and it just like shook open the whole, like all the boundaries of my perceptions. And so now I'm watching The Century of the Self by Adam Curtis, similarly enjoying it. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm about like halfway through, I don't know, 2 hours in to like the 4 hours total in this documentary. Yeah. And so, but yeah, it's like kind of about Freud's ideas of like unconscious drives and desires, and how, in fact, Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, the inventor of the public relations discipline, kind of applied some of these similar ideas to basically sell consumer products as like expressions of people's identities. And so like what we consume kind of becomes tied up with our sense of who we are. What we project outside becomes tied up with our sense of who we are. It's really interesting stuff anyway. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of has me thinking though about like this idea of like consumption as identity, but I think it's also like production as identity. And I feel like that's the one that's like really getting me these days, because like I'm just so consumed with like what I produce. It's like, how can I make the most stuff, the best stuff all the time? And I guess then it's like, how can I make the most stuff, the best stuff, have my identity as like a producer of stuff be front and center in how the world perceives me? And then I guess also as an aside, I can like buy stuff with the money I get for my production to further express my personal identity. But anyway, I mean, you know, not questioning my own behavior at all or anything, but I'm going to go outside and maybe see if I can like film some additional footage to further produce stuff and further reinforce my sense of identity. I am learning nothing, am I? Like, I'm questioning my views, but then coming right back around to the same thing, like, okay, whatever, it's fine. And yeah, speaking of identity through clothing, here's my outfit of the day. Okay, I'm going to try to end on an optimistic note here. And so I did go outside, and I would say it was about halfway enjoying the present moment. And I think it was about halfway trying to achieve the perfect documentation of the present moment so that I can one day fulfill my dreams. And you know what? I'm just going to accept it. I'm going to accept that it's all about balance at the end of the day. And maybe it's not just about not thinking about myself so much, but it's also not obsessing about achieving the perfect ideal of not thinking about myself, if that makes any sense. It's very convoluted, but you know, that, I'm afraid, is life.